Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Maya. We're going for part 2. The second month where we're doing a TBR and a wrap-up video. I really enjoyed last videos. I don't know if you guys liked it. I still need some feedback on that, but I want to get more comfortable like I said the last time, and I don't want it to be any more cringe than it used to be. I want it to be like second nature to me because I want to talk about books, because again, I love watching these when people do them, so I thought I'd see if people like it when I do them. So let me know. Last month I read 10 books, which is a little bit more than on average, which I'm really happy with, and I prioritise reading physical books. So this month I have read 6 physical books, which I'm really happy with because my TBR should be growing, should not be shrinking, and she needs to be read because it's borderline embarrassing at this stage. First I'm going to talk about the books that I have finished, and then we will go on to my TBR for the month. The TBR last month, there was 2 books that I didn't read, but we'll get into that in a second. I'm going to go make a drink, I'm going to get cozy because again we're probably going to be here for a while. So let's go make a coffee. It's such a shame that I drink with my right hand because you guys can't see what I see. Like, it just looks like a normal cup, and like, luxurious, so cute, so minimalistic. Let me turn it around. Sorry, it's hot. Stop it. She's gorgeous. She is gorgeous in herself. I can't even deal. I cannot even deal. This makes me want to drink coffee and tea more at home, and I'm not really a warm drinker. But I can do this all day long when I have this mug to look at. So I'm going to drink like this from now on, just so you guys enjoy what I normally see, because scrumptious. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this in order. I have my Goodreads app up, and I am usually quite up to date of like when I start and when I finish them, so they should roughly be in order, but I'm not 100% promising that this is the order that I've read them in. The first book I read was a physical copy, which I'm really nice because I can hold it up to you, but this is Violet Thistlewaite is Not a Villain Anymore, and I was so excited to read this because look at the cover. Like, if anyone looks at that and goes, nah, this I was so excited for. So I've recently read Assistant to the Villain. I've read all those books, and I am getting a tattoo of them because I absolutely loved it, and it kind of gave a very similar vibe, but other than like her falling in love with the bad guy, it was like an innocent guy was falling in love with the bad girl, which kind of had like so much power in it. Like, yes, queen, be evil. Okay, a little bit of debrief. So there is a bad guy. He's very big, he's very bad. He puts a lot of strain on like the local societies because he just sends his villains out just to like destroy plants and destroy ships and houses, just for, you know, for the plot, for the bants, because he feels like, you know what, I want to spice up today, let's start a war. So that's the type of bad guy that he is. And he dies, so then all of his like cronies are free to do whatever they want. Some of them just disappear because obviously they don't have a powerful lord in the background to back their decisions up. But our main girl, she decides she wants a fresh start, so she goes to like a local village that is close to the bad guy's castle, which I think is a bit of a, if you're going to start new, you might as well start completely new in like literally leave to the other side of the world, because if you want a fresh start, you don't want to like see the castle that you'd terrorize people in, you know? So I was always a bit like, I'm a bit confused with that. I digress. And she sets up a flower shop because she wants to start making, like, using her powers for beautiful things and make people happy. Her powers is vines, and when she uses her dark side of powers, like, loads of like thorns sprout from her skin, and she kind of goes a little bit green, which I actually don't know if this is in relation to Wicked. It kind of sounds a little bit like Wicked. And since the bad guy died, there was like this plague that consumed the land, where it was just eating and destroying the crops and the livelihood that everyone, like, you know, sheep and stuff like that. And then she's trying to figure what goes on, and obviously she falls in love, and yeah, she's trying to be good, but she's actually not a good person. Like, her nature is quite dark. It's just she's always used that dark nature for evil stuff rather than, you know, using it for good. That is very difficult to explain. I rated this 3 stars. At the end of the book, it was I mean, I like cringe. I watch K-dramas, and obviously if you're aware, in K-dramas it takes you like 7 episodes of an hour each for them to like kiss or hold hands. So like the yearning is like a thing that I am well and truly involved in, but they're also known for cringe, and this book is insanely cringy. And it just didn't have everything for me. It was a really fun, easy read. I kind of like ate it all up in one sitting, but at the same time it just didn't fill me up, which is a bit upsetting. But yeah, 3 stars. I'm kind of a little bit disappointed in this book. So I did read Hollow, which was on my TBR for the month, and it is a gorgeous, beautiful edition. I had to order this from like Germany or somewhere because I just couldn't get a hold of this book in the UK, which is really frustrating. But I eventually was able to get a hold of it, and I'm so happy I did because it's beautiful. That being said, I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. So I rated this a 3 star when everybody I know's rated it like a 4 or 5 star. So I was just a bit like, is this me? Am I the problem here? I don't really want to go into too much depth of it because obviously I mentioned it last month, but it's where a woods is basically consumes everything inside of it, and you cannot go into this woods until it's this certain day of the... It's not even every year, it's every like 12 years or something. It opens itself up for people to come inside to try and like beat the curses, beat what's going on inside of it all. There is like 20 something animals. There is a list actually of all the spirits that's inside, and when you kill one of these animals it drops like an amulet, and then you wear it, and then you take over the power of said animal. Basically each person who goes and has to kill as many animals as possible, spirit animals, and then you get their amulets, and then therefore you can take over like their power. There's loads of different animals, like there's unicorns and dragons, which obviously aren't real, and there's animals like koi fish, so like they really don't have that much strength behind them. But then there is like boars and orcs and literally so many animals you can think of, so you have to go and like fight them and then kill them. And the aim of the game is the person with the most amulets at the end, it makes like a wish, like a grand gesture and a wish, and then that wishes come true. And yeah, I don't know whether it could have broken the curses at the end, or if the wish was just for that individual person. I don't really get the gist of it all, but our main girl goes in. She wasn't one of the people who were allowed to go into the woods. She kind of snuck in secretly and was like, shh, I'm here now, hi. And she doesn't want to go around killing the animals. Like, she tries to be one with nature, where she tries to obviously like make a deal, like, hi, my name is so-and-so, let's work together. Which I liked because I do like nature. With me being a Pisces, I just nature stuff I resonate with, and like one with nature and the outside beauty and everything, it kind of like scratches a perfect part of my brain. Lovely, which is what this book did. But the love interest, Hendrix, my dear, sort yourself out. Do you know when romance is a little bit dark and you have like the main interest who's like a bad guy and is bad to everyone else and is a little bit bad to the main girl, but actually he'd like burn the world for you? Well, the main dude, Hendrix, he would burn the world and burn her. Like, the love side of it was just not really existing, and that really wound me up. I just couldn't gel with him, and it really ruined the whole story plot for me, because there was parts where it was actually like, you know what, like, okay, he just had a hard interior but inside he's real squishy. No, he is an actual jerk, an actual powerful fair jerk, and I didn't like that. I don't want to go into too much depth because you can need to go into this with a little bit of a blind eye to it all because the surprises are really nice. But yeah, our main girl, she just, nature likes her and nature will benefit her than anyone else, which is quite cute. I digress. Rated this 3-star, disappointed, but I'm glad I read it. Kind of. The next book was on Kindle Unlimited. Was it Kindle Unlimited? I read it on my Kindle. Yes, Kindle, all 3 of them on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, so this was Ravenminder, and I rated this 4 stars, I believe. Let's have a look. Right, 4 stars. Okay, and then when I reviewed it saying I thought I predicted the ending. I can confirm the fact I did not. it was, I want to say it was an easy read, and it was a little bit on the easier side. It was a world full of magic, and you have 5 gods, and each god has like a certain power. So like, I don't know, like fire, air, water. Do you know, like the elements? But then there's like a secret one, and he kind of gives off bad powers, like dark shadows, seeing into the future, and all of like the sneakier side of things, which people, it's like frowned upon because they're like, that's dodgy magic, like predicting the future, which is like witch magic, and they don't like that. And when you are born with power, you are meant to like tell the king, and then you get, your name gets put in a book, and then you go into this society, like this cage society. You get trained to use your powers, and basically so you can get watched upon. Our main girl, she was born, she's a Ravenminder, and it's where you have like this connection with animals, with ravens, and basically they need ravens to like send messages across, like because there's a war going on and they need to know what's going on, how many people died, and if they need reinforcements and everything. Well, she's taken to this like enclosed society because they need a new Ravenminder. Turns out she has powers, and it goes into the depth of let me see if this is in the synopsis because I don't want to ruin anything for you. Okay, I can tell you. So the bad side of the war, they have these like animals called the ravens, which is kind of like part eagle, part cat, which is a really weird mixture, but it worked so well. And they are like made out of shadows, but they do have a core body to it, like they do bleed blood, but like when you look at them, it's just like the shadows are just moving because that's their power. And our girl has to become a Ravenminder. So rather than being a Ravenminder, she is a Ravenminder. So she's having to like teach this animal how to cooperate and learn to ride it, and then eventually learn to fly it. And then she gets like involved in the war side of it all. There's 2 princes. One is like made to look like he's a bad guy, so he's all like moody and like got dark hair and wears all black, and he has a cane, and he does kind of come across as like a moody dude. You know when like you have sunshine and you have grumpy? Well, he's like the grumpy one. And then the other prince, he is the one that's going to be king. He is blonde, wears light coloured hair. He is the sunshine brother, and it kind of turns into a bit of a love triangle with the 2. Which I loved so much. I loved it. The ending, I kind of was just like, what happened here? I did read the next book in the series, which I read that like yesterday. So I'm just going to tell you it now while I'm on the flow of it. This is from the grumpy dude's point of view, and I rated that 3 stars. This is called Eagleminder, and I did enjoy it. It was really quick. It was like 250 pages, but it's nice seeing from his side of the story, because it was completely different in the main book. I am moving on to the next book in the series, which is the other brother's point of view, and I'm really excited because he was my favourite, which is really strange because normally I like the bad guys, like the ones who are like grumpy and like all covered in darkness. That didn't happen in this story. I like the sunshine dude. Really enjoying it. It's not something that you can probably get immersed in, but it is just like if you want to read a book and you want it to be quite quickly, and you like the world is a little bit complicated, but it's not taking a lot of time to consume it. Maybe have a look into that one. It's very interesting and I do like it. So that was Ravenminder, which was 4 star, and then Eagleminder, which was 3 star. The next book I went on to was 7 Deadly Thorns, and this was a really quick, easy read. I really enjoyed it. It didn't take me long to read this whatsoever. Like every time when I was sat there reading it, I wasn't thinking, oh God, like I've got things to do. I was just like consumed. I just want to start off by saying I was not aware this was a Disney retelling. I believe it's Snow White. It doesn't categorize itself as a retelling, but I mean, like, he's eating an apple, you know? It was just little signs, and I really ate it up. So this is World, and I don't know if it's around the world or if it's just like this area, but eventually there's this mist that comes out, and then this mist is very toxic and anyone who breathes it in dies, so they all have to be in this like proximity. And there is like wizards in this area, and what they do, but they're all women. What are female wizards called? Mages? Let's go off mages. So these mages, before obviously this fog got to them, they put like this magical dome so people can go outside, but like, and fresh air does get filtered through, but the fog doesn't. So there's a dome around this area, and it's next to the main castle. So there's the castle, the dome, and then like there's a next to a mountain, and they've built into the mountain for like all of the mundane people, the average society lives. But because obviously they're in a mountain, there's like poverty and like disease and stuff riddling around. Doesn't really go into details of that. I wish it did a little bit more, but it didn't. It mostly focused on the castle and then the like college side of it all, the educational side of it all. So our main girl is in education, and she was kind of like adopted. She has no background, she has no like no knowledge of where she came from, she's got no powers or anything of the sort, but she knows she's got powers. She's got the power of shadows, and it's frowned upon and people are petrified of her. So one of the powers that she has is known as the mage's power. So she knows that it's like illegal. She knows that if she lets that power out, she will get slaughtered. So it's like she's trying to hide it, and when her emotions get really high, that's when the power starts seeping out of her fingers. So she's trying to like battle and trying to keep calm, and she's trying to meditate and be like, it's not my problem, don't get involved. She gets involved, and that's how it gets out. The main dude is the prince. He goes the same like education side of her, and they've always had this like relationship where you're like nipping at each other, and like there's constant rhetorical questions and answers and just snarky comments, and they're just always at each other. And then there was one time where she was fed up of him, so she just full on was like punching him in the face, and that's how it spiraled into this relationship. The queen, so his mother, finds out that she is a mage and then sends him to go kill her, and that's where the relationship side occurs, and that's where all of this inside kind of like war and betrayal occurs. So it is really good. Wasn't aware it was the Snow White retelling. Kind of glad I went into it not knowing, because it was nice seeing all the little pinpoints. I'm like, oh, and then I was like, oh my god, I wasn't aware. Yeah, rated that 4 stars. And then what did I actually review it as? Oh yeah, had no idea this was a Disney retelling, but when I figured it out I squealed, which is what I just said. Do recommend it. Had a good time. The next book was a novella, and I listened to it on Audible, and I had such a good time. So with it being like February and Valentine's Day, I wanted to at least fit in a book that was in relation to Valentine's. So I did read Pretty in Pink by LJ Shen, and I rated this 4 stars. I had a really good time with this one. It was smutty. Nothing wrong with that. It was smutty. But it's the kind of book where the characters' humour is just pure banter. Like they were just like bouncing off of each other, and when I did rate it, I said I'm actually crying at the epilogue, tears are streaming down my cheeks as we speak. So this is a spin-off to a book that the author has done already, and I have read it. It's called The Devil Wears Black, and it's in relation to the friends who were mentioned in the original book. So you don't need to read the original book to then read this one, but it was nice to actually like, there was little snippets of the past relation, the past people in there, so it was nice being back in the world and like seeing how they turned out, which is really sweet. But what happened is, normally I don't like this trope. It was a one night stand which turned into a pregnancy, which turned into like a relationship at the end, and it was just so sweet, and oh my god, I absolutely ate it up. It was just so goddamn cute. They'd been like having one night stands for years at this point, like every, I don't know, 3 to 4 weeks they'd be like popping the DMs like, what are you doing today? Like she would like recoup and like get down and dirty, and they did, and they've been doing it for years. But the thing is, neither of them was doing it with anyone else. It was just them two, but it wasn't like they want an item. but internally they didn't want to date or see anyone else. It was just them two, which it was nice seeing different points of views because that other person wasn't aware how the other person felt. And yeah, they had a one night stand and then she got pregnant and he was like, I'm there for you, what do you need, we'll do this, move in with me, like I'll pay for everything, I'm there for you and our unborn child and all this sort of stuff. And she was like, no, I don't want to put your life on hold, like it's my fault for not having protection, I'm the one that wants to keep the kid, so it's complete, I'm trying to like push you away so you live your life. And he's like, no, I want this life. That's the part that I was just a bit like, like come on, like move on with your life. He fell hard a long time ago. She was falling for him, but she was trying to not like trap him because she was pregnant, and he was like, no, I want this, give me what I want. And she was like, no, it's fine, live your life. And he's just the dude who cares. Do you know in like movies where like a girl mentions something once, or she likes, I don't know, to eat pancakes, and then she's on it and mentioned it once and he's like aware of that, so like every other day he brings home pancakes, or every other day he does this thing that she likes, and he's just such a sweet guy. And if you want in a little romance that's 150 pages, yeah, 150 pages, that came out this year, girl, go check it out. It was so sweet and it makes me happy now. Really enjoyed it, 4 stars. You couldn't really ask more, could you? The next book I'm not really happy with. So I'm listening on Audible to the Murderbot series, and I listened to the 5th one, which is Network Effect. I really struggle listening to this. So all the rest of them I've had such a good easy time, but this one I just couldn't care for it. It was a lot of monologuing, a lot of describing the area, a lot of technical terminology, which normally I'm more than happy to listen to the scientific side of it all. Obviously it's a murder bot, it's half robot, half human. But this one, there was just a lot of describing the background, describing the scenario, describing the people, describing the war, describing the world. And my brain wanted to switch off. It really wanted to switch off. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, obviously, because this is book 5. This actually wasn't, Jesus, this is 350 pages. I thought it was tiny. That also might have not helped. These are the books that I listen to when I go running or when I go for walks. So I just wasn't wanting to go for walks when I was listening to this book. Like I just wasn't, oh yeah, I should listen to the book. I was like, for God's sake, I have to go for a walk and listen to this book. Rate it 2 star. I'm not here for it. I am going to continue, obviously, because I'm this far into it. I'm just hoping that one itself was a little doozy. But I don't really rate books 2 star. But this one I did. Let's move on. I don't really want to go in much depth with it. Let's just move on. The next book I read was The Swan's Daughter, which I believe came out like last month. January. It came out in January. And again, this was a retelling. What was it a retelling of? I don't know. Oh yes, it gave Howl's Moving Castle vibes. And The Ugly Duckling. Like combined into one. This is a magical world, right? And you have these creatures where you are part human, part swan, and when you are this specific creature, when you are in your human form, your swan wings are out, and then when you turn into your swan form, obviously you are a whole swan. You're just bigger because obviously you're part human too. I mean, swans are big anyway, but you're just bigger than that. And when you get a swan to fall in love with you, the person they love gets like a necklace around the neck, obviously because it's a necklace, and at the bottom of it has a key, and that's basically the key to the swan's heart. And when you have said key, you can control that swan. Like you can control their feelings, you can control their actions, you can control like what form they're in. And this bad dude is like, he is aware of this, he fully knows what to do, but our dear mother swan didn't know this, so she gave her heart to this dude. This dude entrapped her. It is quite dark what happens, but basically they have children together, and all their beautiful daughters are part human, part swan, other than one of them, which is our girl, and she is just human. And she doesn't have the same powers as all her sisters, and their mother dresses her in like rags and constantly covers her in dirt and doesn't really want her to look as beautiful as the rest of the sisters. That's where the ugly duckling kind of comes into play. Then there is this like thing that the dad's trying to, it's like kind of like a curse again, or to get some more powers, and you have to do a certain thing. So he's doing research and he finds out that he needs to do something that the daughter disagrees on. So she runs away and she enters like this tournament where you have to try to win the prince's heart. And yeah, it goes into that side of it all. It goes into the powers of the world that the other women have. It goes into like other women trying to kill people, you know, to get like the hand in marriage. And the castle that the king and the prince lives in, it's a castle where it changes shape, it can speak to you, it looks after you, which is like the housewarming castle. It kind of comes into play with that. Beautiful, whimsical, hardly any action in there, which I mean I was aware of and I did enjoy it, but I'm normally action based. I normally like to sit at the end of my seat being like, oh my god, what's happening next? And this didn't happen here. It was beautiful, a little bit twisted in the background, but it was just a nice cozy read, and I rated this 3-star. And what did I actually say? Oh, never read an Ugly Duckling retelling, so surprisingly really enjoyed it. And it's a gorgeous, beautiful edition. I just wish that it was more along this beautiful edition rather than this. I just prefer this to this. I mean, you can't get it all really, can you? So I then moved on to Deadly Voices, and this was in my TBR, and I ate this up. I had a good time. I was petrified. I was really scared reading this book. There's certain scenes that I don't think I'll ever forget. Kind of like the first one, Small Spaces, and I've mentioned this 1,000 times, so I apologise if this is like a retelling of me hearing it again and again. But it's about children and it's about like a certain world. Like this one's about ghosts, which I am scared of ghosts. I am petrified of ghosts because I believe in ghosts. So this really shook me to the core. They're going to a cabin, then this ghost hunter comes to the cabin and is like, hi, there's a ghost here, let me give you my guidance. And yeah, they're fighting ghosts, they get trapped, the parents are none the wiser of what's going on. It's just chilling to the bone. The only issue with this is it was a lot of chasing in the background, and it was less, some scenes were scary, like I had goosebumps, like I wasn't having a good time, I was petrified, which is what I wanted in this book. And then there was other parts where they were just like running and chasing and running and chasing and nothing was scary was happening, but they're just getting lost and they're running and chasing. And it just went on for a long period of time, and that really brought it down for me because I thought there was so much more things you could do. But overall, it was again a fun read. Rated it 3 stars, and I just said the author's goal was to creep the readers out. Well, goal achieved. It was creepy, did enjoy it, and it's also a very nice flimsy book. And I can't wait to read the next one. The next book is the last physical book that I read, which was the Moon Glow Bookshop, and I still don't understand what my rating on this one is, only because everyone was human, like everybody, other than like 2 people, 2 animals. So there was this one creature who was like a giant bunny, and then there was this other creature that was a fairy, but then everyone else was human, and I didn't really understand the world in that, because surely, if there's like 2 beings that aren't human, then there's going to be more out there, or if, I don't know, it wasn't combined well with being like human society and then like the spatial side of it all. It needed to be more oomph. But it was a book where you read it and then it makes you think about your own life, which I did like. You go into this, it's kind of like a bookshop bar, and you order a drink that's on the menu, and they all have like, I don't know, like regret or happiest memory and just labels like that, and then the person who goes has to choose from the one. And then say for example if it's regret, the person who makes it, like the barista, doesn't know what regret you have, they just make the regret drinks, and then when you're drinking it, it goes through layer and layer and layer. So I might have like a really nice layer which brings back happy memories, and then a sour layer which is like what your regret is about, and then what you could have had in the future, and then what you should do now. And it's just different layers. Like when you're looking at the cocktail you can see it, because obviously it's like blue, black, green, whatever. And when the person's drinking it, they always pass out on the sofa, which I find really funny but like also really strange. And then they go through those memories, and then when you pay it, you don't pay it by cash, you pay it with a certain part of your memory. So I still don't understand how this bookshop was able to remain open. So like the logistics of it made no sense, like absolutely I don't understand it. But if you were just wanting to read it for like a good time, inspirational, having a good time in your life and reflective and everything, then it's a good book to read. You just don't look in the background of it all because none of it made sense. I did rate it a 3 stars. So it was, when I kind of got to terms with the fact that the world itself didn't make sense, and I just actually focused on the actual story plot, I enjoyed it more. But if I was focused on the world, I would have been like 1 star, 2 star. It was really, really strange. My review was, started for the plot, left with a confusing storyline. I am glad I read it, and it's a beautiful edition, but it was just really confusing in itself. So the last book I read was Caught Up, and that was Into the Darkness. And I mean, you might have seen it, you might have seen these skulls. So the first one's a skull, the second one's a motorbike, and then the third one's like a devil mask, and I'm so excited to move on to the devil mask one. I'm so giddy about it. So it's got like no relation to the people from the first book whatsoever. I don't even think they're mentioned in it, but I listened to this on Audible, and this was after I finished the Network Effect one, the one that I didn't really like. I moved on to this one when I was walking, when I was running, when I was exercising at the gym, when I was on the Stepmaster, when I was trying to get fit. I listened to this book. It was great. Oh my god, it was actually like listening to pure porn. And I think if you read this, I think it would have been a little bit too much. Like, oh my god, get on with it. Like, let's skip the pages until I get on to the next part of it. But this one, I really enjoyed. Obviously, I was listening to it, so it was really incredibly uncomfortable and cringy, because obviously the grunting in my ears and everything. But yeah, it was real fun. Really enjoyed it. The story plot is a little bit where the main girl and guy went to school together, and she really had a massive crush on him, and then he had a crush on her, which no really knew about. They started dating, they started having this fling in school, and then she made this fan fiction of him. Strange. I mean, who does that in school? Who does a fan fiction of the person you have a crush with and then like share it with your friends? It's just really strange. She had a friend as well who also had a crush on him, and when she saw this fan fiction of them like doing the dirty and stuff, she was like, no, you're never gonna get in, blah blah. So she uploaded those pictures on all social media, and then the dude denied it. The dude was like, no, we've never dated, no, we've never done anything together, I don't even like her. So then I'm actually heartbreaking. So our main girl, imagine in high school, like how mean are people in high school? So our main girl was like, right, I'm leaving, I'm bouncing, goodbye. She left school, she left the town, she like unfriended everybody because the trauma was bad. Like the high school teachers didn't do anything about it, and it was brutal. So she left, she started afresh, and then later on in her life, after she like got really like famous and like done all this stuff for herself and she's really accomplished, she goes to church with her nana and bumps into him, and he kind of wants to rekindle this friendship that they had, and she's like, absolutely not, like you ruined my life. Like who even are you? Like, no, go away. And it goes into that type. He's not giving up, he's adamant, you are mine. The dark and twisted side of it is he's in the mob, so he's very dark, dingy, his background. It goes into depth it don't go into depth like a lot, but it talks about it a little bit, which is nice to see. But yeah, which is something that I want to know the background of it all. But yeah, and then they kind of kindle a relationship, but they're trying to fight it with each other. And I mean, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and it was so fun to go on these walks, and it was extremely spicy. Like on a scale of like 5 spices, I'd say it was like 7 spices. If you want something and you want something, listen to this book. Rate it 4 star. My description was, this book is the book I listened to when I walked. Turns out I got a lot of steps in, because your girl did in fact get a lot of steps in, and she finished this book really goddamn quickly. But a lot of people didn't like it. It was too smutty for them. But again, if you listen to it, it's probably better than when you're reading it, because it just had a different effect, you know? So they are the 6 physical books that I read this month, and I am really happy and quite proud of myself that I have decided to read some physical books. I have already chosen my TBR for March. Again, I have chosen 5. I am going on holiday for a little bit. There's a lot of travelling involved in there, so I have decided I'm going to get a lot more bigger books in my TBR for the month. So let's get through them. It is really intimidating, I can say so, but we're just gonna go through it. We're just gonna go through it together, you know. And then eventually I will put it on my TBR cart, because it's nice to walk in and those books be there, and as a reminder that I need to read them. So the first book I have just got, because it was February's Romantasy with Fairylit, and it's Half City. I don't know anything about this other than the back. It says keep your daggers sharp and your wits even sharper, but it's a beautiful edition. Like, look at the sprayed edges. yeah, it's actually gorgeous. And then the hardback itself is very similar to the dust cover. But again, yeah, it's beautiful. I don't know what this is about. It kind of gives academic vibes, but that's one of them that I'm going to read. I don't really like reading special edition books because I'm kind of scared that I'll damage them, but this is really expensive on Kindle, so I will have to read the physical edition of it. Kind of sucks, but that's the whole point of reading. The second book I need to read, like there's no even question asked about this book, is that I need to read the Grimm and Horror book. So this mixed duology? No, it's dual point of view from both of the men from the series. And I've always liked Grimm rather than Horror, but I've heard you need to read the one that you're least interested in. So then obviously once you've read through that, then you can go on to your favourite point of view. So my favourite point of view is Grimm, and I need to start off with Horror. But I know for a fact I'm gonna like it. Like looking at Grimm's picture, like I remember this scene, and I remember it being actually brutal because obviously that Aura went through her heart. Like it was just insane. And then you look at Grimm's point of view. The artwork is just gorgeous, and I need to get into this because the next book in the series has been released and I cannot read that until I've read this one, because this is the male's point of view from the most recent book, and it's, you need to read it before you read the next one, so it needs to be read. Technically it's like 2 books but I need to read this. So that's going on the TBR for the month. The next one is, because I didn't read it from last month's TBR, but that is Air of Fire. I am really excited to get back into it. I really, really want to. It's a big book and I annotate it, so I have to be in an annotation mood. But I know for a fact once I do start this, I'm going to be like, right, oh my god, we're into this world. I can't believe I waited so long to continue reading this. I know for a fact that's going to happen. I just don't know. I don't know whether to read this on the airplane, maybe, because I'll be fully... Maybe that might be a good idea actually. Do you know, on the airplane where you're not really doing much and you can just pay full attention on this book so you can annotate it. I feel like might be what I'm doing. Okay, this might be my next book. Ooh, how exciting. I'm nervous. So that's 3. The 4th one is kind of very different. Like all these books are very black and this one is gorgeous and beautiful. This is this month's book club read. It's a tiny book. It's lower than 200 pages. Yeah, and the wording's big. I have no idea what this is about. Actually not a clue. So on the back it says 1 photograph, 1 treasured memory, 1 chance to go back. These Hatsu are the photos of your life, 1 for every day, but whatever for. Each of my guests selects their favourite photos and they will end up on their lantern. Then we'll return to a day in the past. Think of it as a chance to look back on your life. See, I just think these books are just so beautiful and it makes you want to live your life to the max rather than just kind of like floating and just chilling out. You live one life. Go live it. And I absolutely love these books. But yeah, this is this month's book club read. So I will be very excited to read this. And again, it's actually tiny. Like compared to Air of Fire, it's like light and day. So that's another one. And then the last one is, so my physical book is 3 books into one. So I technically don't have to read my physical book because again it's the whole trilogy. But it's this Beast. It's a God of Wrath and Lies, and this is a K.M. Morinova. I do have most of her books here on my like very dark romance. Obviously it's got Alchemize. If you've read Alchemize, you know for a fact that's very dark and gruesome and just brutal, and K.M. Morinova is really good at doing that. So it has book 1, book 2 and book 3. It's thick. It's, how many pages has it got? This one has just over 800 pages, and I'm not gonna lie, I probably am just gonna sit here and just read all 3 of them, but obviously the aim is to read one of them for it to go onto my 5 TBR books. But let's be honest, once I start reading K.M. Morinova, I kind of can't stop. I'm working through her books, but I just can't sit down and read all of them at once because it's really traumatic and it kind of like messes with your brain. So they're the 5 books that I'm going to read. If you look at it from the page count, you think that's not 5 books, because technically it's not, but what the hell? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I this month? I have 2 weeks off in March, so technically I can do a lot of reading. I can do a lot of reading. So we'll just see how that goes. I am planning on doing more vlogs this month. I do apologise. I just wasn't in the mood for vlogging. I just wanted to sit down and I was too busy exercising. I was waking up early, coming to bed late. I've got a lot on in February, so I just thought I'm going to put you on hold for a second, and then I am back now. I have a couple plans for this month. I don't know how I'm going to fit in those TBR books and the books I'm planning on doing for videos, but hey ho, we digress. We are back here. Thank you guys for watching, and have you guys read any of these books? Are you going to read these books? Put them down in the comments down below, and I will see you in next month's video. Bye guys.